my name's Michelle White, and in this tutorial we're going to do sort of a complete overview of all the applications within our CMS. Now before we sort of just dig in right away, if you do see an application that you don't have access to and you do want to learn a little bit more, it's something that you kind of want to experiment with, definitely give us a call so we can sort of open that up for you. And then if you just need additional training, definitely let us sort of assist you there. But again, this tutorial is just going to be sort of a quick overview. You'll sort of be the mini expert of Reach, and then before you know it, you'll be doing these tutorials. Just kidding, you guys. Let's get going. So the first application you see is the dashboard. That's really the first one you're going to see when you log into the system. There's sort of two parts with the dashboard. There's the information of sort of the network health. And when I say network health, I'm sort of referring to the status of your player or players. There you can sort of refresh the content, you can actually reboot, and then what is nice too is you can get a live screenshot. So depending on sort of how your facility is set up, maybe you're sort of looking at something in another state, that screenshot is very nice so you can see what's live and kind of what's running there. Now, as far as the network health, that was sort of the one part on the dashboard. The second part is sort of that communication board. So we do have sort of two ways of communication. The first part is the system announcement. So that's anything that happens within Reach. Any new features we have, for close, for holidays, and just like any other company, there's always sort of, server issues or something maybe just not be working just fully right. We'll definitely make sure we're communicating to you guys. It's really important to us that every client we have, is staying tuned to really what is going on. That last part too, as far as that communication board, it says notifications right here. That's anything you guys do. So if you guys upload any videos or maybe your social media expired, there'll sort of be an alert or a notification letting you know what's going on. So the second tab down, you guys, is called the layout editor. Now the layout editor is really where we go to sort of build your guys' digital displays. It sort of works in 3 steps. The first step is creating a zone. The second step is adding a widget, and then the third step is stylizing it. Always sort of where that learning curve kind of comes into play is just kind of knowing what widget does what and, just sort of how do I style it. Again, there is really a good tutorial on this. It does really give you that sort of deep dive if you're interested in it. To give you just sort of a little bit more background too, we actually build all of our backgrounds or displays in Photoshop, and then we actually export them as a PNG file. Now, you don't need Photoshop for this. I've had clients who have used Illustrator or InDesign. I've actually even had clients use PowerPoint. Completely fine. Really the big thing is that you're just exporting it as a JPEG or PNG. Once again, you guys, if you do want to learn more, definitely let us know. Give us a call or, watch another tutorial or two. So next application, you guys, is called the player application. So I'm just going to sort of select one here that's online. But anyways, so the player application, you guys, is really the deep dive of that particular player. So it's going to give you sort of the storage space. It's going to let you know where it is, what type of player, time zone, really all the configuration as, maybe someone in IT would want to know. The big thing I would sort of point out here, you guys, in this application is that, as you can see in this middle part right here, we sort of have this like refresh and this platform stuff. We are constantly making updates, and sometimes the updates are really small. It's not something that you would see on the front end, but we're constantly sort of pushing these updates to your players. And so it's really important that you're sort of staying at the latest, greatest. That way we can sort of ensure that, you're not going to have any issues. And so that's kind of what this part is saying right here is when that sort of push is going to happen. One question we always get asked is that you can see that we have this 12 to 4. A lot of people think that their system or their TV is going to be completely down during that time, and that's absolutely not true at all. It basically just refreshes. It's a quick refresh between this time frame. So no, it's not down for the 3 or 4 hours. But again, you can adjust when you want this. This is just a default time just because most people, are not at the facility or not at the department. However, we do have some clients that sort of do a shift change kind of around that time. So we've sort of adjusted to sort of fit their needs. Now the second tab over here is called the stream schedule. And the way I sort of explain a stream schedule, it's basically telling the player what layout to run. If I were to sort of break this down, first we have our TV, right? And then behind the TV we have our player. And that player is it's dumb, right? It just doesn't know. It says, okay, Reach, I'm online, I'm connected to this screen. What do I need to do next? So that player stream allows us to tell the player, hey, I need you to run this layout. Now, within the stream schedule, you can have multiple layouts run. To give you sort of a scenario where you might use that would be like menu boards. Maybe you have a breakfast menu, you have a lunch menu, you have a dinner menu, and you sort of want those to change during certain times. Another scenario would be that, maybe you're going up for graduation. You're a university and you want sort of this live streaming of the graduation. And it's coming up this Saturday from 1 to 5. You might utilize sort of the stream schedule to sort of accommodate that. All right, you guys, so the next tab down is called the announcement application. I always refer this guy or sort of rechange the name to sort of a playlist. Essentially, that's what it is. It's a playlist that runs through multiple assets. Now, those assets can be YouTube clips. They can be your own personal videos. They can be PowerPoints or Word docs, JPEG, PNGs. We also have a back end that helps you sort of create these assets as well. So there's really a lot of flexibility to sort of get content to those screens. So that's sort of the announcement application. Now the next guy down is called the calendar. And there's a couple ways we can do a calendar. Some people have what we call an integration, which means that they have a calendar, on their Outlook, or they have a Google Calendar, they have an EMS, and they just want to pull that information in. That's where that term integration sort of comes in. So if you guys have an integration, we definitely can get there in. We do multiple integrations with multiple clients. But we also have a way where if you don't have that, not a big deal at all, you can come in here and sort of manually enter these events in. Now it is very easy to use. It allows you to sort of, have dates that repeat, or you can schedule, next year's of information. You really don't need to be in the system every single day putting events in. As you guys can see, you already have sort of this month view. I can sort of scroll over to, I have a month view, a week view, a day view. I can have multiple sort of calendars. It really is sort of an easy use application. The next one down, you guys, is social media. So we can pull in Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Of course, those are the 3 popular ones, but we also have Slack and Workplace. Very, very easy to do, you guys. Once you sort of connect your profile or even your hashtag, the way the widget works is that it pulls the most recent posts every 10 to 15 minutes. And as a default, it's going to sort of rotate, or maybe another word would be sort of toggle, between the 5 most latest posts. Now, within that widget, we can change that from 5 to 10, 10 to 15. And if, 10 to 15 minutes is, too quick for you, we can also adjust that as well. The next guy down here is called a dataless application. Now, the dataless application can be used for a lot of things. I personally like to think of the data list as like an Excel file, because essentially that's what you're doing, is you're creating sort of multiple columns, and then you're sort of adding multiple rows into that. To give you sort of scenarios to better explain the data list application, one way you use the data list is for directories. So you'll have sort of the tenant's name and then maybe the floor name. Menu boards is always a good example as well. So you'll have, the item, maybe you'll have the calories, you'll have the price, maybe you'll have a description of it. Another way we use a data list is Excel integrations. We have a lot of corporate clients who sort of have an Excel of maybe, the employee name, when they start, when they, maybe what the job description is, and they just want to upload that Excel into our application or into our sort of CMS. That would be another way we would use data lists. So it's sort of a kind of a bigger beast, and it can do a lot of things. So those are just some scenarios to sort of help break down exactly what this does. Now the tab down below, you guys, is called the user application. This is where you sort of put in all your users. Now we don't sort of limit you guys at all, so you guys can have as many users as you want. We sort of have 3 levels. The highest level is called the super admin. So if you are set as a super admin, as a default, you basically have access to everything. The next one down below is called an admin, which is pretty much like a super admin, does have the full access like a super admin, but cannot override what a super admin has established. And then the last and final one is the user application, or I'm sorry, just like a user group. Now, users, as I sort of refer to clients, it's kind of like if you have someone like a student helper, or if you have someone where you just want them to sort of publish to their playlist, it's kind of like what you see is what you get. You're probably going to hide some of these applications on the left side. That would be sort of a scenario of a general user. Now, we also, too, you guys have this user list. So when you are dealing with sort of a huge organization and you have maybe, hundreds of users, it's always nice to sort of just click one button and just see all of them. Another thing too, you guys, to point out with the users is we can do what we call an SSO. So again, if you're sort of interested in that, or if you're, wow, they have that, definitely give us a call and we can sort of go into a little bit more detail on that. The next one down, you guys, is called the support tab, which I believe you found because you are watching this tutorial. So one thing to just kind of point out with the support tab is this is actually where you can create a ticket. I know that when you sort of signed with us, you were sort of sent with a personal install coordinator. You obviously have the sales rep, and then you have an account manager that's sort of reaching out to you. At any point, you guys, if you have issues, yes, you can reach out to those guys, and they'll sort of get back to you right away. Now, the advantage of putting a ticket in is that we have a huge team that's sort of an IT team. They come in on the weekends. They do just a great job of responding super, super quickly. They respond within an hour or two max. What's nice about you putting a ticket in versus sort of emailing is that if you were to email me, say, directly, and I'm out of town, it's not really fair to you to sort of wait for me to get back in. By you putting a ticket in, you'll sort of officially, or not officially, but you'll sort of quickly get that response that you deserve. Now, the second tab down, you guys, is called the Communication Corner. And this is actually what we send out. If you guys don't get these emails, definitely give us a call. We can put you guys on our email list. So every month we send out sort of a email blast that sort of tells you guys everything that just sort of got released. It can be small things or it can be big things. If it's bigger items, of course we're gonna have a tutorial on it. You can also see too, we have sort of this view video that talks about just that sort of functionality. Otherwise, these are sort of our release notes. And so I definitely, encourage you guys to sort of come in here and sort of, like I said earlier, just kind of stay tuned with what's going on. Tutorials section, of course, you kind of know where that is, and then the frequently asked questions. And then sort of that last sort of application or that last tab is the preview tab. This does allow you guys sort of to preview the layout and sort of what's running and make sure so your branding is staying consistent. So that's the end of our tutorial. If you guys have any additional questions, and like I said earlier, if I kind of walked through an application that you don't have access to, and you do want to learn a little bit more, check out those tutorials if there's, like a kind of a deep dive on it. Otherwise, give our support a call or an email, and we'll sort of walk you through it and open it up. Otherwise, more importantly, you guys, I hope you guys have a great day and enjoy the week. Thank you.